Hi, this is Rick from For Community, creating community spaces so you can connect with others and also with God. I got a little home gym right here in my home where I work out and I agonize over my workout routine, but I'm not going for gains. I'm just trying to stay alive because mostly what I do sees me sitting at a desk all the time. However, I have a friend who's a personal trainer. He agonizes over his workout as well, but he's seeing wonderful results. He knows what health is supposed to look like, and he knows how to get there. And so his agonizing is way more effective than my agonizing. I use that illustration just to say, we sometimes agonize over things that we have a lot of control over, meaning that we know what we're aiming for, we know what a win, we know what health looks like. And at other times, we agonize over things ineffectively. I mean, we have no idea what health looks like. We have no idea what a win looks like. But we're moving forward almost entrepreneurial, trying to find our way and trying to discover what the answer is. Both of those things are okay. We live in both of those worlds at different times in our life and also at different areas in our life as well. At the same time, we can be effectively agonizing in one area, but ineffectively agonizing in another area. If you're watching this video with someone, would you please consider pausing the video and sharing two things with each other? What is one thing you're agonizing over right now and you have a clear idea about where you're going and how you're going to get there? And then, what is one thing you're agonizing over right now, but you have no idea what a win looks like and you're kind of floundering, hoping you're going to stumble on something that's good? This video is based on Colossians chapter 2, verses 1 through 5, and in this text, Paul shares with us about how he agonizes over something. And thankfully, in this area, Paul's not floundering and hoping to stumble upon some kind of clarity. Paul is clear about what he's agonizing over, and he's helping us find some clarity in this area as well. I want you to know how much I've agonized for you and for the church at Laodicea, and for many other believers who have never met me personally. I want them to be encouraged and knit together by strong ties of love. I want them to have complete confidence that they understand God's mysterious plan, which is Christ himself. In him lie hidden all the treasures of wisdom and knowledge. I am telling you this so no one will deceive you with well-crafted arguments. For though I am far away from you, my heart is with you, and I rejoice that you are living as you should and that your faith in Christ is strong.
Hey kids, don't forget to look in the background for all of the cool characters.
And remember to watch this week's episode of Connect HQ. Bye!
Here's what I'm hoping to pass along to you in this video. A self-assessment for your spiritual formation, so you know what health is and how to get it confidently. In this passage, Paul says, I want you to know how much I have agonized for you. Man, I really feel this phrase. I have agonized over many things in my life. I've agonized over my health, my weight, education, my kids, my motorcycle, my friends, my wife, my family, my job, my second career, my church, everything. Some of those things were fruitful because I knew with clarity what it is I was trying to accomplish. Other things were pursuits for clarity because I wasn't quite sure what I was about and I was looking for what the next move is. Now, thankfully in this passage, the thing that Paul agonizes over is something he has clarity with, and he's offering that clarity to us. Throughout all of the New Testament, all of the lessons that agonize over your spiritual health and your spiritual formation, it's not a floundering kind of agonizing. It's a clarity kind of agonizing. You can know what spiritual health and spiritual formation can look like for you as an individual, because it's going to look different for you than anybody else, but you can still know with clarity what it should be looking like for you and what your goals can be. In this video, I'm going to use the text to try to help you gain some clarity about your spiritual health and formation. And I'm going to give you 4 signs of spiritual health. In this small passage right here, I have found 4 signs for you to look for so that you can assess if you are on track and if you are indeed heading towards being a healthy Jesus follower. Here's the first sign. You are Jesus focused. The text says, I rejoice that you are living as you should and that your faith in Christ is strong. The most awesomest message I love receiving from the letter of Colossians is the power of the very simple gospel. There is no other power given to humanity that comes close to the power of the very simple gospel, which is believe in Jesus. Very simple. Our belief in Jesus transforms us from being distant from God to being children of God and friends with God. The very simple gospel changes hostility into friendship. There is nothing else that compares with the relational and spiritual resurrection of the transforming work of the very simple gospel message, which is believe in Jesus. Is the message to believe in Jesus all there is to say about being a Jesus follower? Well, of course not. There's so much more to say. However, there's nothing that is as powerful as that very simple message because of the work it does to transform us. So here's what this means. As close to perfection as you come, or as far away from perfection as you seem to always stay, it just doesn't matter. What really matters is Jesus. You following him. You and Jesus as friends. That's what really matters. Your life as a Jesus follower isn't scored by how much you know or how well you can keep rules and memorize creeds and memorize Bible verses. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with those. The scorecard, though, is this. Believe in Jesus with your whole life and for your whole life. So what does spiritual health look like? Number one, it looks like someone who is focused on Jesus, knowing that there's no greater power given to us other than the simple gospel message. It's believing in Jesus with your whole life and for your whole life. Sign number two, it's your love lifestyle. The text says, be encouraged and knit together by strong ties of love. What does it look like to believe in Jesus with your whole life and for your whole life? It looks like love. There's a law teacher in the New Testament that approached Jesus and asked him to consider all that the Bible had to say and to summarize it into the greatest commandment. And I think this is slightly like me. I would love to just keep things simple. If it's too complicated, I get lost along the way and I never end up where I was heading. I need it simple. The law teacher was asking for it simple. So Jesus straight out tells us what believing in Jesus with all our life and for all our life really looks like. It looks like someone who loves God, and it looks like someone who loves others. Their activity is inspired by their love for God. Their activity is inspired by their love for others. Here's the great news about this, at least the great news for me. There's a lot of wiggle room here. The way you love is going to look different than the way someone else loves. Love doesn't have to look the same. Yet, even though it doesn't look exactly the same, we all still seem to recognize it. So what does health look like for a Jesus follower? It looks like believing in Jesus with your whole life and for your whole life, and it looks like love for God and for others. Here's sign number three. It's you mission-minded. The text says, understand God's mysterious plan. I love this next point because it's less about us and more about God. This next point really helps us to understand the mind of God so that we can figure him out a little better and discern what he's really all about. God's mysterious plan is that he would be known through Jesus. And we've covered that a little in the last two videos. Now, here is an easy way to say it. God is on mission to be made known. To that mission, he gave Jesus. To that mission, Jesus gave the Spirit who empowers the church to be on mission with God, which is knowing God and making him known through Jesus. That's an easy way of saying it. That is a mouthful, but it's a really great summary. We can also say it like this. If you want to flex a little bit, you can say it like this. Missiology informs soteriology, informs ecclesiology. To know God comes with the responsibility of making God known. We do that by loving God and loving others in a way that keeps the focus on Jesus. What does health look like for a Jesus follower? It looks like someone believing in Jesus with their whole life and for their whole life. It looks like someone loving God and loving others. It looks like someone who makes God known by loving God and loving others in a way that keeps the focus on Jesus. And finally, sign number 4, it looks like you Bible believing. The text says, no one will deceive you with well-crafted arguments. So here's the last point I'm going to dig out of this really short and simple passage, experiencing the Bible. Now, I don't mean just reading it. I mean engaging it in a way that makes you think about it and makes you think about how to apply it and how to live it. That's what's going on here. True knowledge of God is the experience of God. True knowledge of God isn't book knowledge. True knowledge of God is the experience of God. We experience God as Jesus followers whose choices are in alignment with the truth that's revealed about God and each other in the Bible. The Bible isn't just a book to be read. It is a miracle. The Bible isn't a book. The Bible is a miracle. It's meant to be engaged and applied so that you can experience God right here, right now, for yourself and with others. Here's a summary. In this passage, Paul shared that he agonizes over the church, but he's not agonizing in vain like I agonize in my workout routines. He has clarity. He knows what health and spiritual formation looks like for a Jesus follower. And we see a small picture of that in this passage. For a Jesus follower, this is what health looks like. Believing in Jesus with your whole life and for your whole life. Loving God and loving others. Making God known through Jesus and engaging and applying the Bible. I'm really looking forward to connecting this week to discuss this. This week would be an awesome time for you to join the conversation if you haven't joined us yet. We're still small enough that there is a place for you. That's it from me to you for now. Would you please like? Would you please share? Would you please subscribe? And would you please ask for the link? I'd love to have you join our discussion for community, creating community spaces that you can connect with others and also with God. See you next time.